Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about game 101 of the regular season where the Astros... I've run out of ways to talk about humiliating wins or humiliating losses where the Astros just, punk and bully another team. So I think tonight, if I had to pick a term for tonight, it would be defiling. 11-1 over the Seattle Mariners because we can't beat bad teams, but we can beat playoff teams. Okay, sure. The Astros teed off on the Mariners for 11 runs, 10 if you want to be, nice about it and not count basically the equivalent of the empty netter in the 8th inning for Aledmys Diaz, but hey, good for Aledmys Diaz nonetheless. But what led up to that, where it got to the point where they had position player pitching type of game? Aledmys Diaz hits a solo home run in the 2nd inning, and the Astros have a 1-0 lead. Cool. That's cool. And it was at the time, because I was watching the game with friends of mine, where I was like, man, the thing about close games like this, when it was 1-0, I said this, was like, man, one mistake and you're in kind of a bit of trouble. And the Astros said, oh, you're not a fan of close games. In the 3rd inning, Yordan Alvarez would get an RBI single, and after that, Alex Bregman would cash in with an RBI double to score 2 more runs to make it a 4-0 Houston ball game. And Breg wasn't done, because after that, another RBI single to make it a 5-0 Houston lead, and Yordan wasn't done either. We'll talk about him and Alex later on in this video. He wasn't done either, because he hits a home run. It's 6-0 Houston. Yordan would reach 5 times tonight. We'll talk about that. Jeremy Pena would get a sac fly to make it a 7-0 Houston lead, and Mauricio Dubon just uncorks one into the Crawford boxes. I've talked about it a few times. I want Mauricio Dubon to succeed so badly. This was super cool to see him finally get his first as an Astro to make it a 9-0 Houston lead. Jake Myers would get an RBI ground out, because why not do that? This was the Astros basically have everyone off the bench portion of the evening, and we were nearing the position player portion of the evening for the Mariners to pitch. Julio Rodriguez would get an RBI double. That would be the only run given up for the Astros tonight, the only one on Verlander's ticket, and that would be the batter to make Verlander to say, yeah, all right, I'll go hit the bench. Great evening for him. We'll talk about that again in a little bit. And then Aledmys Diaz, when facing Joe Schmo, hits a home run, his 2nd of the game. Congrats to Diaz. I believe it was his 2nd career multi-home run game, but, position player. And that made it 11-1 Houston. Good Lord. And, I understand that the deal was likely in the process of happening before tonight. I understand that in my head. But there is something comical of the Astros just basically having batting practice against the Seattle Mariners tonight. And then in the middle of the game, they trade 4 prospects. 3 of the prospects the Mariners gave up, by the way, were in their top 5 for Luis Castillo, who is on not a very long-term deal. There was something comical about that. Hey, yeah, it's Jerry. So about Luis, I'm just gonna mail you a blank check. So Verlander tonight, really good. 7 2/3, only 5 strikeouts, which is not what you'd love to see. You'd like to see a higher number there. But he did have 13 swings and misses, so he clearly had good stuff that was working for him. Only 1 walk. That's, again, really, really good. The 1 run, which was sort of in garbage time. It wasn't necessary that he was out there. He could have been pulled after the 7th, but c'est la vie. Only 1 run is still a fantastic performance. 5 hits, 7 hard hit balls. Again, a very solid performance from Justin Verlander tonight. The 7 hard hit balls and only the 5 strikeouts really hold it back from being a gem from Verlander, but this was a really good game, and he just continues to roll forward. I'm completely at a loss for words other than just yeah, he's great. And it's sort of becoming the good child argument where we're just not surprised. This should not be possible for a 39-year-old pitcher fresh off Tommy John who hasn't pitched in 2 years to come out here and perform like this, but he's just kept doing it this season, and we're just yeah, he's a Cy Young candidate. What do you expect? Brandon Abreu would look okay, gave up a hit and a walk, also got a strikeout in his inning and a 1/3 of work. A solid evening for him. Offensively, you could pretty much say everybody. Yuli Gurriel would have a pair of base hits tonight because, say it with me, threatening job security. It works every time. JJ Metanchevik would pinch hit, and he would also get a base hit. Good for him. Yordan Alvarez reached base 5 times tonight. I really don't think there's much else to say. He reached 5 times. He walked twice. He hit a nuke. He had 2 other base hits. Yordan Alvarez, you can make the argument at this point, is the most well-rounded hitter in Major League Baseball and is no longer an argument for the best hitter. He is on another planet. Alex Bregman, absolutely fantastic. A walk, pair of base hits. He has just looked fantastic recently. Again, he's back, guys. I think he's back. He's got the swag back. He's looking great. Incredible game last night. Incredible game tonight. He's really just hitting the ball well. He's seeing it really well. Elimas Diaz would have 3 hits tonight, including a pair of home runs. One of them was off a position player. I don't care. Still good for him. And quiet, but not lost, Mauricio Dubon had 4 safe reaches tonight. Pair of walks and a pair of base hits, including the nuclear home run. Mauricio Dubon, fantastic game for him. And this really was just one of the more perfect Astros games that shows you top to bottom what they can do. Because you had an elite pitching performance from Verlander. The bullpen was very, very a small sample size, and it was only Abreu, but still a solid outing from the bullpen. The top of the batting order killed you. The bottom of the batting order killed you. And just to prove it, even players who didn't contribute much offensively had good moments, like Maldonado throwing out Julio Rodriguez in the first inning. Because, yeah, offensive threat, maybe he isn't. I don't know at this point. He might also be. Who's to say, really, with Maldonado, he's a loose cannon. But even if he's not contributing there, he's contributing in the field. This was a more or less perfect display of power by the Astros. And so we guarantee a series split. We go for the series win tomorrow. Games at 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central. The Astros are going to send Framber Valdez to the mound, and the Mariners are going to send Chris Flexen to the mound. And I will be here afterwards to talk about it, but that's all I have to say for the evening. So, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.